Welcome to TYBSc Chemistry class. This is Meenakshi Dilip Birari, working as Assistant Professor in Chemistry at Maratha Vidya Prasarak Samaj, Nasik. Since from last few lectures, we were discussing about the first chapter of Industrial Chemistry, that is Modern Approach to Chemical Industry. This is once again from the same. In today's lecture, we will talk about the various topics like selection of parameters of chemical industry, chemical reaction and its classification, batch and continuous operations. In previous lectures, we have discussed the introduction, basic requirements of chemical industries, chemical production. While manufacturing various products, it includes various operations and processes. These are unit process and unit operations, quality control and quality assurance, process control, pollution control, human resource, that is HR, R&D, research and development. Without R&D, development and progress of any industry is not possible. Safety measures. While working in chemical industry, we should follow all the safety rules. Also, we have discussed economics of chemical reactions. All these topics already we have studied in previous lectures. Now in today's lecture, we will see the topics like selection of parameters of chemical industry, classification of chemical reactions, batch and continuous operations. Now let us move towards today's lecture. First of all, selection of parameters of chemical industry. To design chemical industry, various parameters are very important. So which are the various parameters to design a chemical industry? These are plant location, safety, construction of plant, management for productivity and creativity, training for plant procedures and labor, chemical process technology. So these are the various parameters to design chemical industry. Now we will see one by one each parameter in detail. First of all, plant location. Plant location, it is one of the important parameter to design chemical industry. Proper location of a chemical plant is determined largely by various factors. Now what is the criteria to select plant location and which are the various factors affecting plant location? We will see in detail. The selection of plant site is very important to ensure that it has all the support required to make the venture a feasible and profitable. There are many factors that must be considered when selecting a suitable site. So the principal factors related to the plant location, these are location with respect to the marketing area, raw material supply, transport facilities, availability of labor, availability of utilities like water supply, electricity supply, fuel, etc., availability of suitable land, environmental impact and effluent disposal, local community considerations, climate, political and strategic considerations. So these are the principal factors to consider. These are related with plant location. First one, that is nothing but raw material supply or availability of raw materials. It is important while selecting a plant location. As we know that raw materials are very important for the manufacturing of various products, so that the raw materials required must be close to the plant site so as to reduce the cost of transport. For example, many petrochemical industries are situated in the vicinity of Bombay refineries. Other example we can take, that is iron and steel plants are located near the mines in Bihar. So simply we should remember that raw material supply or the availability of raw material, which is important factor related to the plant location. Raw material should be close to the plant site so that we can reduce the cost of transport. The second important factor, that is market facilities or the location with respect to the marketing area. Normally, the finished product of one industry is the raw material for other industry. So, one industry can buy the product of other industry. Therefore, several chemical industries cluster at one place. This also reduces the cost of production. Now the other factor, that is nothing but water supply, electricity, fuel, availability of skilled labor, cost of land, facilities for the disposal, waste disposal, and mode of transport, that is roads, railways, and seagoing ship, that should be available. So these are the various factors: availabilities of utilities, availability of the suitable land, availability of labor, transport facilities, raw materials, like that. So these are the various factors while selecting a site or the plant location. However, sometimes the environmental restrictions force the chemical plants to be located away from the cities. So while selecting the plant site, the various factors that must be considered when selecting a suitable site for chemical industry. These are nothing but the factors affecting plant location: nearness to market, nearness to the source of raw material, availability of infrastructure, facilities, availability of the skilled labor, good industrial relations, social infrastructure, like that. The factors affecting plant location. Other factors which also affect the plant location are availability and cost of land, suitability of land like soil and topography, climate conditions, location of a similar unit, etc. So that is the first important parameter while selecting a chemical industry. Now the second one, that is safety and safety precautions. As we know that chemical industries are always threatened by hazards like fire or production of toxic materials than any other industry. As compared to other industry, chemical industries are always threatened by the hazards. So which precautions are important? So following safety precautions must be taken while designing a chemical plant. Adequate measures have to be taken. Prevention of fire and maintaining firefighting efficiency must be made compulsory. The personnel have to be educated about and made aware of the possible hazards and toxic chemicals. Regular check and maintenance of equipment should be done to avoid leakages in pipes, vessels, etc. Gas masks, gloves must be provided to the persons handling carcinogenic chemicals. Carcinogenic, that means cancer causing chemicals. If waste products contain any toxic material, they must be disposed properly after treatment. So that are nothing but the safety precautions which are important while designing a chemical industry, because the chemical industries are always threatened by the hazards as compared to other industries. So regular check and maintenance of equipment, it should be done to avoid the leakages. Also, if there is the waste product which contains any toxic material, they should be properly treated before disposal. And prevention of fire or the maintaining firefighting efficiency, it must be made compulsory. So that is the other important parameter while designing a chemical industry. Now the next parameter, that is construction of plant. To construct chemical plant, various factors influence the facility location decision. That may be transportation, availability of labor, materials, availability of equipments, land, market size, availability of energy, water supply, again the facilities, waste disposal facilities, financial institutions, government, etc. So these are nothing but the various factors that influence the facility location decision. While constructing a plant, chemical plant, that factors are important. In USA, construction engineering organizations are available for designing and building of plants. Some very large or giant companies have their own construction departments, so they can erect their own plants. But in our country, we do not have such a system. In such a situation, it is advisable to take experts' advice for disposal, pollution problems, marketing facilities, transport, construction cost, availability of labor, environment, location of plant, etc. Nowadays, computer graphics are also found to be helpful in giving the guidance about these factors. So that is also one of the important parameter, that is construction of plant while designing a chemical industry. Now the next one, that is management for productivity and creativity. A good management provides for qualified and well-trained staff facilities to update the knowledge of the staff, welfare of the main, and maximum output of products and incentives to laborers. This also helps to increase the creativity of the staff. Modern technical departments or developments in the field of production coping up with the changing conditions, it should be introduced in order to increase the productivity. So, highly motivated, homogeneous team from work manager to helper is required to run a factory smoothly. So, talent management, it includes the develop qualified pool of employees, that also having the various development programs or the training programs, that also deploy the employees through the effective management. So management for productivity and creativity, it is important that should provide the facilities to update the knowledge of the staff. It also helpful for the welfare of the main. It gives the maximum output of products and incentive to the labor. So like that is an important parameter of chemical industry, that is management for productivity and creativity. Now the next one, that is training for plant procedures and labor. A pilot plant is the best place for training chemical engineers. Management should train the supervisors and operators on pilot plants, and workers should attend the refresher courses. After sufficient training, they give their suggestions. They can work out the procedures, simplifications, and alterations in the method. This creativity in turn helps to improve the process. Hence, training programs should be arranged periodically. So, in chemical industry, the pilot plant is the best place for the training of chemical engineers. Training programs as well as the various refresher courses, it should be arranged periodically. Another factor, another parameter, that is chemical process technology. The industries must keep in touch with the technical development in the process. They must change old equipments and purchase new equipments in order to cope up with the processes based on new technologies. The progressive industries must take care of the new technological developments and use them with trained expertise, so that the industries are helpful while considering these various parameters, that is nothing but safety, construction of the plant, plant location, management for productivity and creativity, training for plant procedures and labor, and chemical process technology. So the progressive industries that must take care of the new technological developments and they can use them with the trained expertise. So these are the various parameters while designing a chemical plant. So we have discussed all these parameters in detail. Now the next topic, that is nothing but classification of chemical reactions. Large number of chemical reactions are used in the chemical industries. Classification of chemical reactions, it is very difficult task. Chemical reactions can be classified mainly into two classes, that may be organic reactions and inorganic reactions. However, in some cases that reactions, to classify these reactions, it is also very difficult. Majority of organic reactions that are included in unit processes, already we have discussed all the chemical reactions in unit processes in previous lectures, which are used in various industries, chemical industries like alkylation, acylation, amination, cracking, condensation, Friedel-Crafts reaction, esterification, like that. So all the chemical reactions, these are unit processes used in various chemical industries. Some reactions which are involved in metallurgical industries or in electrochemical industries, fertilizer industries, these are nothing but considered as inorganic reactions. So there are various methods for classifying the chemical reactions. Now we will see the most general classification of chemical reaction, which is based on the number and type of the phases involved in the reaction. So chemical reactions are mainly classified into two groups, that is homogeneous reactions and heterogeneous reactions. Homogeneous reactions are again classified into two groups, that is catalytic reactions and non-catalytic reactions. Heterogeneous reactions are further classified into four groups. First one, gas-liquid reactions, gas-solid reactions, liquid-solid reactions, gas-liquid-solid reactions. So that is the classification, general classification of chemical reactions, which is based on number and the type of phases involved in the reaction. Now we will see in detail about this classification of chemical reactions. First of all, homogeneous reactions. Now what are the homogeneous reactions? Reactions involving single phase. Homogeneous reactions involving single phase. So homogeneous reactions are further classified into catalytic reactions and non-catalytic reactions. Catalytic reactions, here the homogeneous phase is liquid. In catalytic reactions, homogeneous phase is liquid phase. Examples we can take nitration, sulfonation, Friedel-Crafts reactions, condensation, esterification, enzyme reactions and hydrolysis reactions, etc. So these are the examples of catalytic reactions having the homogeneous phase liquid. Second type, that is non-catalytic reactions. Here the homogeneous phase is gas phase, and the examples, these are combustion, cracking, pyrolysis, acid-base reactions, etc. So here the homogeneous phase is gas. So these are the two types of homogeneous reactions which involve the single phase, catalytic reactions and non-catalytic reactions. Catalytic reaction, homogeneous phase is liquid. Non-catalytic reactions, homogeneous phase is gas. Now the next one, that is heterogeneous reactions. What are the heterogeneous reactions? Heterogeneous reactions involving more than one phase. These are nothing but heterogeneous reactions. Heterogeneous reactions are further classified into four types on the basis of phases. First one, gas-liquid reactions. The catalytic reactions, here these are oxidation, alkylation, polymerization, halogenation, ammonolysis. And non-catalytic reactions, these are nothing but absorption of gases in liquid like Cl2, CO2 in NaOH or ammonia in H2SO4, HNO3, etc. So that are nothing but gas-liquid reactions. Second one, gas-solid reactions. The catalytic reactions are ammonia synthesis, hydrogenation, dehydrogenation, oxidation of SO2, sulfur dioxide, ammonia, hydrocarbons, and non-catalytic reactions are reduction of metal oxides, burning of coal and roasting of ore, etc. So that is the second type, gas-solid reactions. Now the third one, liquid-solid reactions. The catalytic reactions are polymerization using Ziegler-Natta catalyst, enzyme catalyzed reactions, Non-catalytic reactions are nothing but leaching of iron and also ion exchange reactions, etc. So that is nothing but liquid solid reactions. And the fourth type, it is gas liquid solid reactions. The catalytic reactions are nothing but gas liquid reactions which are catalyzed by solid. So it includes the oxidation, hydrogenation of organic compounds, etc. So these are nothing but the four types of heterogeneous reactions which are classified like that: gas liquid reactions, gas solid reactions, liquid solid reactions, gas liquid solid reactions. So in heterogeneous reactions that involves more than one phase. So that is the classification of chemical reactions, mainly classified into two groups: homogeneous and heterogeneous. Homogeneous reactions are further classified into two groups, that is catalytic and non-catalytic reactions. Heterogeneous reactions are again classified into four groups. These are gas liquid reactions, gas solid reactions, liquid solid reactions, gas liquid solid reactions. Now the next topic, that is nothing but batch operations. What are batch operations and what are continuous operations? So unit process for the desired production can be worked out either in a batch fashion or in a continuous fashion. So accordingly, unit processes can be either batch processes or continuous processes. So one by one we will see in detail about batch process or batch operations and continuous process or continuous operations. First of all, batch operations. So in batch process, manufacture of desired product is carried out in batches. All the reactants are thoroughly mixed and reaction is completed by maintaining reaction conditions. For the small scale production, we can use batch process. In small scale industries, that is having the batch process, which is preferable for the manufacturing of various products. Product obtained by the batch process, it may vary from batch to batch, that is different from batch to batch. When one batch is over, then another batch is started. Equipments, when we consider about the equipments used in batch operations, equipments needed for the batch process are very simple and these are also less expensive. The capital required, it is also less. So that is nothing but related to the batch operation or the batch process. So in batch process, the manufacturing of the desired product, it is carried out in batches. Batch to batch, the product is variable. For the small scale industry, for the small scale production, we can use the batch process. All reactants are thoroughly mixed and then reaction is completed by maintaining the reaction conditions. The equipments used, these are simple in batch process. It is also less expensive. So these are nothing but the various things related to that. Product is also obtained by a batch process, variable from batch to batch. Now what is about continuous operation or continuous process? In continuous process, reactants are continuously fed at one end and product is collected at other end. That means the process is continuously going on. Large scale production utilize such technology, that is continuous operation. Reaction conditions need to be monitored at all the time, thus expert supervision is must in continuous operations. Product obtained, it is uniform in composition and it is also cheaper as compared to batch process. Equipments are arranged in series and hence they may be costly. So we have studied the batch and continuous operations. Now we will see the difference between batch and continuous process or batch and continuous operation. So what are the distinguishing points of batch and continuous process? So first of all, we have already studied the batch operations. So what are the important things related to batch operation? The calculated raw material, it is fed in one time. In batch process, the apparatus it is idle during charging and discharging. That means not working properly. The apparatus is not working during charging and discharging. Charging, that means the addition of raw material into the process. So that is nothing but the apparatus it is idle. Charging and discharging operations requires more manual labor. Then the conditions like temperature, pressure, concentration, etc. may not remain constant in all the batches. So that is also one important thing. The rate of reaction does not remain constant during entire process. The batch operations it requires more energy. Less product per man hour is obtained. Quality control is difficult. Batch operation it is much smaller for small scale production. That process is utilized in chemical industry and it is less expensive equipments. These are having the less expensive equipments. So that is overall about the batch operations. In detail already we have discussed about batch operations. Now comparatively, when we observe continuous process or continuous operations. In continuous operations, the raw material is fed continuously. The apparatus and equipment is never idle during charging and discharging. Charging and discharging operations are easier and requires less manual labor. Temperature, pressure, concentration, etc. it remain the constant throughout the operation. Due to fall of automation, rate of reaction remain constant. Rate of reaction is constant, whereas in batch operation it is not constant. It requires less energy. In continuous operation, the product obtained is more per man hour which is obtained. The quality control it is higher and good quality, bigger and more expensive equipments are there in continuous operations. So when we observe the difference between batch and continuous process, the continuous operations or the continuous process is more preferable as compared to batch operations, because the batch operation it is less profitable as compared to continuous operation. Continuous operation is more profitable. The quality control it is difficult in batch operation. In continuous operation, quality control is more profitable or higher. Batch operation it requires the more energy. Continuous operation it requires less energy. Charging and discharging operations requires more manual labor in batch operation, whereas in continuous operations, charging and discharging operations are easier and requires less manual labor. So batch operations these are useful for small scale production, whereas continuous operations are useful for large scale production. In batch operation, the production cost is higher. In continuous operation, production cost is lower. Low capital requirement in batch operations, whereas high capital requirement in continuous operations. Economically, the batch operation is less attractive, whereas continuous operations are economically more attractive. In batch operations, there is no need of expert supervision, whereas in continuous operation, it requires the expert supervision. The rate of reaction it may vary from batch to batch, whereas in continuous operation, the rate of reaction remains constant during the entire process. So all these are nothing but the various points. By using that, we can distinguish the batch operations and continuous operations which are used in chemical industry. So comparatively, when we decide that continuous operation it is more preferable for the large scale production as compared to batch operations or the batch processes. So small quantities of chemicals are generally manufactured by batch processes, but on increase of demand the operation has to be shifted to the continuous processing. So there is a large difference between the batch process and also the continuous process. So in this lecture we have discussed the various topics. These are nothing but selection of chemical parameters, reactions, chemical reactions, its classification, and batch and continuous process, difference between batch and continuous process. In next lecture we will talk about the intellectual property, IP, and also copyright, trademark, and patent. So we will see all these topics from the industrial chemistry in next lecture. Thank you for listening this lecture.